Hey, sexy beast, it's the BG. It's been a long time coming. I know. I had to take a break, man. I had to just step away. I mean, I was still training. I just had to take a step away from all the other stuff. I don't know if you guys knew, but in Ohio we've started reopening, and we're just kind of like, come on in. So it got a little nuts, especially starting to open up the studio again. It's been good. Like the kids were really excited to get back into the studio. I'm excited to get back to like normal teaching. It's a weird, like, try to relearn how to do what I do. I don't know how to explain that. But the good thing is that there was plenty of training going on. And so this video is actually, it's going up probably tomorrow, which is the 11th of June. And this is all stuff from like the 18th, 19th of May. Yeah, I'm that far behind. Sorry. There's going to be plenty. I think I posted the Murph video on, and it was a very rough draft. I'm going to redo that one and repost it just so that way you guys have like a better, cleaner version of it. But I figured, you know, you guys deserve high quality content and information, and I felt the best way to do that is to, instead of trying to half-ass it and just pump it out, I figured, you know what, step back, give you the good stuff, because you guys deserve the good stuff. So, but anyways, so this was leading up to my birthday, which was June 1st, which was a lot, and it was exactly what I needed to, and I was going to try and do a whole week, but there's a lot of exercises to talk about, so I wanted to go ahead and just dive in, and of course, what better way to start off the week than to start with chest day? Let me make sure that everything sounds off. Yes. Okay, great. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Aha! There it is. Okay, so this was more of a hypertrophy day, so I was going for, and actually, I kind of deemed this workout the Crazy Eights. Everything was in sets of 8. This is 145 pounds, and I was trying to just slow down the tempo. It's kind of like, I think we talked about German-style training, and it's that creating that stretch over the muscles and really trying to control it as much as possible. Completely different than when I'm trying to go for strength. And I'm strong enough to be able to handle 145 pounds, but this is a good way to just kind of stress the body. And I didn't realize that me stressing my body was going to stress me out as everything else is going on, but whatever, I digress. But yeah, those are pretty good. Another thing to kind of bring up is that recently I kind of started dealing with a strange elbow thing right here. It's probably just like an easy tendinopathy. And what you would normally think is, oh my God, you've got tendonitis, you got to give it a rest. You don't rest it, you strengthen it. So there's a really good way that, especially if your elbow starts bothering you. One thing is that what I'm doing now is, which I didn't do this week, is I'm sticking to a lot of the compound exercises, and I'm just kind of steering clear of like the isolation stuff. But and that's just for me. It's just an idea. So you're still doing heavy weight, but you're taking a step back from all the extra stuff that kind of just gives you that extra wear and tear. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's also important to know that I haven't used any anti-inflammatories in about, what do you think? Not since middle of February. So that's been like 4.5 months without any anti-inflammatories. So I'm trying to figure out how to let the natural inflammatory system help my body to heal faster. So anyway, so here we go. We continue on with incline bench. Go. There it is. So I moved up to 100. Again, was just going for 8 reps. Same idea, nice slow tempo. And instead of, well, I guess I did go down to my chest. Okay. I typically try not to go all the way down to my chest because it's just an extra stretch on my elbow that doesn't exactly need to be necessary. And maybe I think it's a little bit easier to kind of let it rest on my chest for a second and then push from there. This is, what's the argument for incline bench? The argument for incline bench is that you can't lift as much weight as you can on a regular flat bench. And since more often than not, we have a little bit more inclusion of our shoulder and the upper part of our chest whenever we're pressing people overhead, I feel like that's a good one for us to use. So especially, and it is considered an accessory exercise to the actual doing the bench press or the overhead press, mostly due to its specificity. Oh God, I got to do a video spectrum of specificity, don't I? Or I can just link you to another one. But either way, the goal is that you want to try to move the most amount of weight over using the most amount of muscles. And that one puts you at even more of a mechanical disadvantage. So you can't do as much weight, which means you're not doing as much stress, which means you're not building as much strength. Anyways, moving on. So speaking of putting yourself at a disadvantage, I decided that I wanted to go a little heavier with dips. And again, I'm going to do it the awkward way of trying to get myself dressed. I'm going to do these a bunch, so that way you can really see how awkward it is to try and get this thing attached. But I have my 35-pound kettlebell, and I went up for it. And again, I only did 8s. I love dips, I really do, and it's nice because you can feel yourself getting stronger when you're like, I need to add some weight, and the fact that you're not only just dipping your own body weight but adding weight on top of that, you know that you're getting stronger. This also again is used to target your bottom part of your chest as well as your triceps. Try, just a suggestion whenever you go to do this, because some people will say, oh, you got to go all the way down. No, you don't. Like, go there. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need to go all the way here. If you do that, you're going to dislocate yourself. You go down to where you can control it, and then come back up. Which is why I don't particularly like that. Sorry about the squeaky chair. It's why I don't really recommend using the Olympic rings. I think Olympic rings, they give way too much movement, which does not spark joy. And everything should always spark joy. But then we continued on with heavy arm stuff. So here we go. Close grip bench press. This is 135 pounds. I think this is the heaviest I've gone on close grip bench in a while, at least since I've been at this weight, which I think right now I'm at 168. But yeah, same thing, 8 reps. I broke the 8 reps in the other ones. Same idea, trying to take it nice and easy. A little, well, it's not dangerous, but it is it makes it harder to go this slow, and I would actually recommend that if you're going to do something like this with close grip bench, I would actually recommend doing it on the Smith machine if you have it. Also notice that I don't have the collars on there, so that way if it did end up going to failure and I couldn't get it off me, I could just tip it to one side and like that, and I could just dump the weights off. Except those don't necessarily dump off as easily because of the they're so beautifully flush. So they're kind of like, but anyways, they're great. All right, so then I finished off this workout with a little bit of a superset on the TRX, or my ghetto TRX, whatever, that's fine. Go. So it was 12 suspended push-ups. Now I like these. Now watch like how much I'm vibrating when I'm doing this. So I'm getting all that extra like little muscles doing all their job to stabilize and everything. Yeah, especially once you get about 6 reps in. I ended up doing 12 of these of the push-ups, and then I transitioned to the next thing. Yeah, and this I did 2 sets of these, and it was rough. It was very rough. Yeah, there we go. And then I go to overhead tricep extension, and I know a lot of people are trying to look into different things to get for their home gyms and stuff like that. Now, this is what you could use your Olympic rings for instead of getting a TRX. I think they're a little bit more affordable, probably a little bit nicer on the hands as well. The weird thing is that with the flat grip, it doesn't move as much with your wrist. So if you have rings, you can kind of move it and make it fit to where your hands are. And a nice thing is that you lean into it. You control the amount of resistance that you have on that exercise. So I think, well, there was a company I worked with in Georgia for a while, and they had all the girls that were coming in for our summer intensive were using those, and I think it was great. I questioned the rep ranges, but that's just me. And I thought that also giving them 6 hours of rehearsal on top of all that training was stunting, because it just wiped them out and didn't get, like, if it would have been at the end of the day, then it would have made sense. But I think they always kind of plugged it in the middle of the day, and I was like, okay, so now they're just going to be tired, which means they're not going to hold themselves up, which means you put them at risk of injury. I'll open that can of worms, that's fine. All right, so then we went into the pull day for hypertrophy, and we do my other favorite pulling exercise, Rdls. Again, Rdls are very similar to incline bench press in that they are a very specific exercise. They don't use the most amount of muscles, but they use a good portion. This is, the nice thing is, especially if you have an issue of getting that last final pull at the end of a regular deadlift, this is one of those ones that helps you to get that extension in your posterior chain. And we've already talked about the benefits of it, but if you want me to go on to a diatribe, what are these good for? Penchés, just being able to stand in one leg, being able to make sure that, actually, let me think, I don't know. I think being able to do penché, you can even do them with on one leg. Again, it's even more specific because you're balancing, but then you're also working you're working each leg kind of like a penché. But it's a matter of what's the goal. So, and depending on what the goal is, like if I'm doing something, like if I was going to do Spartacus, I would totally do that because and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, in the ballet Spartacus, the Bolshoi version, the guy he has his what's her name? I forget what her name is, like Desdemona or something like that. She comes and runs on his back and goes to arabesque. And then when she pulls up her leg, and then he goes for a penché with her on her back. It's incredible. Like, so I purposely was working on my penché so that way I could do Spartacus because I think it'd be so awesome. It's such a manly ballet. It's so awesome. See, everyone wants to talk about how fruity they think ballet is. I'm like, no, dude, it's like the manliest thing ever. I can't believe you guys don't get it. I digress. Anyway, okay, moving on. We're gonna go to dumbbell lunges. Here we are, and I had to adjust the camera. So yeah. So maybe I was being a little lazy on the camera stuff, but I try to set it up so you can kind of see everything for my body. You don't need to see my face. That's not the moneymaker. So these are my 35-pound dumbbells. So that's 70 pounds. I ended up doing about 12 reps of these. I think I was doing reverse lunges, I think, the weeks before. I don't know. I like these better. It tests my balance a little bit better. And it just feels nicer. I don't know why. I think it's because of my short, stubby legs, but it's okay. I think lunges are fantastic, and I think being able to alternate them, like I said, it's testing your balance, but it's also testing your explosiveness out of one leg to go back, and also testing your balance as you're coming back up, because and usually I always show you the last sets because they're usually the heaviest, but typically the first round, I'm usually like, whoa. So it kind of like tells my body like, hey, wake up, time to do some stuff. Let's see. And I know that's not necessarily like a posterior chain type of exercise like RDLs, deadlifts, or anything like that. But I like to plug them in there because sometimes I don't have time to do it on leg day, which that changed a lot moving forward. But I digress. Anyways, weighted pull-ups, go. I said go. There we go. Okay. So again, I'm going to do the awkward, like I'm going to strap up, but it's, oh gosh, I don't know how to make this any easier on myself. It's okay. You can make fun of me in the comments. I'm perfectly okay with that. If you guys have another idea, I think it might also be because it's like that big the nylon thing. So I almost destroyed the window or my mirror. So I recommend not trying to swing too much. I'm kind of getting a little too much English into this, but I think the nice thing is that I was able to get to about 6. See, this is the 6th one, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get any more, so then I used my box so I can jump up and do 4 negatives. If you ever have issues with trying to do pull-ups and you're really trying to build the strength to be able to do it, negatives meaning the eccentric contraction coming down. As I'm controlling myself down, that's actually you're overloading your body and say, hey, get stronger, and it goes, huh? And say, no, get stronger. And it goes, oh, okay. So next time you come back, you'll probably be able to do more. I think actually, what was it, today, I just finished back day, and I did it with chin-ups, and I actually went up in weight, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that video, it's fine. Anyways, okay, so I like these. I didn't want to do inverted rows, and so I went to, this is a bodybuilding standard, the bent over row. I just like this one. It looks cool. Biceps pop a little bit, you know. You feel like a badass. Yeah, so I don't know. It's not even that heavy. I think it's 120 pounds. I did 12, so yeah. And I don't know why, and I think it's just because you can get a little bit of English into the row and kind of, you know, help it up a little bit. But again, it's the eccentric that's where you build the muscle. Okay, so this is a very long video. I'm going to just kind of talk through it. So this is me doing a drop set, and this is one that I borrowed from athletenext.com. In that, what you do is instead of just doing, it's like the 7s workout where you do the upper part of the contraction, the lower part of the contraction, and then you do the whole thing. And what you do is that after you get to the top part and you fail, I end up doing 9 on this first set. Add a little English again, because again, the eccentric contraction is where you're going to build the muscle. And then you drop the weight so you can do the next part. It's just to be able to take advantage of where in the weight ranges you are strongest. And this one was, gosh, my nose is running again. What is happening? Why does this always happen when I start talking? But so then you drop it down by 10 pounds. And as you can tell, I'm very clumsy. I need to get more 5-pound plates, because then I can just strip them off as opposed to having to switch them out. But so then a little bit lower weight, you do the lower part of the range, which is where you're typically the weakest in the whole rep range, or in the range of motion. I end up doing 8 here, and I think I went a little overboard on biceps, and I feel like this is probably when I did more like when the elbow thing started happening, because I was going really heavy on the biceps, because I wanted to get those summer arms going. I'll also discuss why I think bicep curls are important for males specifically. But there we go. No, so you're down at the 50 pounds. You go into a full rep range, or full range of motion with this. Another 8, that sort of thing. And I'll tell you what, the pump was real at that point. And I don't think I was sweating that much yet. Yeah, that was the last one. Shut it down. You only do 1 set. You don't need to do any more than that, because it's already really heavy. That's just in my opinion. All right, and then we go on to the next one. So we already did a so this is wait a second. That's prone. That's supine. So now we're going to go for a neutral grip with hammer curls. I know sometimes I do it and I try to do a little twist, but this is, I'll explain why. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I'll grab my 50-pound dumbbells. So I'm already kind of tired. Now the nice thing is that you get a little bit more involvement of the bigger muscles. And you're like, well, why does this help? What's the point of this? Well, okay. Let me go ahead and give you a heads up. So I'm going to be doing Giselle pas de deux in mid-August with my friend Ashley. And you're like, well, what does that matter? There's a whole point in the middle of the pas de deux. And actually, you grab the girl and you have to hold her in front of your chest. What are you using to hold her up there? Your biceps. Yay! Who'd have thought? Oh my goodness. So yeah, I figured, get a little bit of hypertrophy, get a little bit more of those slow reps to really build that mass. So that way, so yeah, you hold the girl like this, and you have to like, and you're using your legs, but at the same time, the more that you can have this here, the less your chest is going to collapse, which is usually right near the end of the ballet. Right near the end of the pas de deux, and you're so tired. And if you don't have that strength there, then you collapse your chest, which means you lose your breath, which means you're not going to be able to carry the girl anyway. So that's why I did it. Now, last thing, again, back to the TRX. And go. There we go. So we've got that's our suspension. Now this is another thing. So the first one I was doing with the hammer curls, it's in a more stretched position. Now it's it's more of a contracted position, or a shortened version of curls. So it's just kind of getting, working that strength in different places. Are you ever going to pull yourself this way? Well, I don't know. There might be a time when you have to like pull a girl up from a balcony or something like that. That's gonna help. Just saying. Yeah, I don't know. It was a nice way to kind of finish off, and you make it as tough as you need to, because the goal is you want to try and create that stress, and you're using your body weight. Yeah, I don't know, doing 12, and yeah, I don't know, it was good. Yeah, you see that pump? It was looking good. I felt good that day. Lost a little bit of it, but I'm working on getting it back. Just got to make sure that everything heals. So, anyways, that's our catch-up video. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all slapped together. Well, beautifully slapped together. and hope you guys have been staying safe. I hope you guys have been doing as much as you can, and I hope you guys are, just doing all the right things for everybody. And I think the most important thing is that we need to make sure that we love each other, even more so than we already do in the first place. Yeah, if you have anything to add to that, you can put it down in the comments. If you liked the video, give me the 2 thumbs, especially this one. And I think you'll probably see the little subscribing thing down here. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Can't wait to hear from you guys. I hope you guys have had a great couple weeks. And hopefully you guys have grown. Hopefully you guys have, you know, flourished as humans. And I think we all need to just keep doing that as much as possible. So, love you, sexy beast. Bye.